today to present the issue of climate change, why it is a threat to the future of humanity, and what we can do before the problem gets out of control. We believe that climate change is natural, but to a certain extent. According to ice core records, the Earth experiences consistent global warming in cooling periods, as well as variations in the CO2 levels in the atmosphere. Although climate change is natural, human beings are directly responsible for its current rate. If we don't control it, it could wreak havoc on our planet. Before the Industrial Revolution, the Earth averaged about 280 parts per million of CO2. However, in the last 120 years, carbon dioxide levels have experienced a rapid increase, and current levels surpass 400 parts per million, unheard of in recorded history. Unless we take immediate action, these levels are only going to increase more rapidly. In humans, greater increases in carbon dioxide can cause headaches, dizziness, restlessness, difficulty breathing, sweating, tiredness, increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, coma, asphyxia, and convulsions. The carbon dioxide levels did not begin to increase with such speed until the late 19th century, the same time as the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, when humans began to frequently burn fossil fuels from greenhouse gases. Natural fuels for energy creating greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane. This leads scientists to believe that humans are responsible for a large portion of the current rate of climate change. Although CO2 levels have increased 42%, this does not mean that the temperature will increase at the same rate. Nonetheless, in the past century alone, temperatures have increased about 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 10 times faster than the average rate of temperature change following an ice age. Although 1.5 degrees may not seem like a lot, an increase in only 5 degrees within a human body is the difference between health and sickness, while an increase in 10 degrees is the difference between life and death. It does not take large temperature increases to hurt humans or the environment. In fact, slight increases in temperature can lead to rising sea levels, melting ice caps, faster spread of disease, frequent heat waves, droughts, floods, reduced agricultural productivity, and a decrease in fresh water. More than half of the world's population lives within 120 miles of coastline, and rising sea levels would render their homes uninhabitable. The melting of ice caps would cause many animals who live in the Arctic region to become endangered or even extinct. In addition, glacial melting would decrease fresh water supply for those who rely on glaciers for water. Faster spreading diseases would cause millions more people to die per year due to illness, while frequent heat waves can kill not only people, but also crops and animals. In a world with rapid population growth, where so many people are already struggling with famine and dehydration, a decrease in agricultural productivity and fresh water would cause even more people to suffer and die. Humans have not been known to be able to live in extremely warm environments, and if climate change gets out of control, there could be an end to the human race as we know it. Climate change is a serious problem, and we are to be held responsible for our effect of it. It may not be easy, but it is possible to correct our environmental mistakes if we take immediate action.
Global warming has been dominating the headlines for some time now. Some of the media is calling global warming urgent. Though it may seem urgent, is it really? Looking back at a reputable website, I learned that Earth has been through 5 major ice ages, 5 temperature cycles from hot to cold, needless of increasing CO2 levels, which would only make it more rapid. We know that humans were alive at least during one ice age in the Holocene epoch. But we know that because in Mr. Lamb's class earlier this year, we learned that the scientists have different theories on how humans appeared on the continent of North America. One of the theories was the Bering Strait, which states that humans traveled from Russia to America. But the ice bridge could only form because it was really cold, because it's really hard. Ice does not form on salt water easily, and it also needs to be extremely thick for at least 1,000 humans to walk upon it. So it has to be very thick. Statistics also show that the Earth has warmed by near 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit in the past 100 years. My team and I did some calculations and learned that it takes 6,333 years before the ice caps can melt. By then, it would be out of sense problem, not the scientists. I do believe that we should try to slow it down to the best of our abilities, but it's impossible to stop it, as it is a natural process. And therefore, we are safe and should try to slow it down, though we should not go crazy about killing us all. Now, Aaron CO2s are rising rapidly, and it only should be more rapidly in the next few years. Though the U.S. government has been putting more about carpooling stuff to help not make it rise as rapidly, such they stress, carpooling and other modes of transportation that could stop the CO2 levels from rising so rapidly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so although the government may be stressing carpooling, that's not really going to do that much, because as we've seen since the Industrial Revolution, the CO2 levels have risen so much, and so just saying you guys should probably start carpooling now isn't really going to help if the CO2 levels have grown so big.
Yes, but also right now, since the Industrial Revolution, the stuff that the emitting the greenhouse gases was very rapid, and now they're trying to slow it down some, so it will still not increase as much as what happened during the Industrial Revolution, where technology was still not what we have today.
But it's still increasing majorly because we're still using natural gases and stuff, which is still increasing greenhouse gases. So
Yes, I agree.
there's, we're doing some, but we're not doing enough. So.
That's what the U.S. government trying to come in to make sure that we can try to do as much to our abilities. Yes, Aaron.
The thing is that they're not taking drastic enough measures now, so we're still burning a lot of coal, and we're still not relying a lot on renewable energy sources that we use. In addition, you said that we have lived through ice ages. Well, we've lived through ice ages, but we haven't necessarily lived through extreme heat. And even if it is a natural process, what's to say that we won't be able to live through an extremely warm temperature? We don't know that yet because we've never experienced that. So we can't say that we'll be okay because we've lived through an ice age.
Well, going back to your first question about the whole the electricity with natural gases and coal, we are also trying to convert more to hydroelectricity, more green ways of getting power. So
That's the things we're trying, but we're not doing as much as we could be. That's all.
All right, thank you. Good first